Hello, my name is Andrew, and I'm here alongside Colin. We are Cal Gaming, and welcome to our Let's Play of Resident Evil 5 for the PlayStation 4.
So, I know that you're a really big fan of this game, Andrew.
Yes, indeed I am. I'll explain my history with the Resident Evil series. It all started when my father actually used to play the Wii version of Resident Evil 4, back when, back into the early 2007. Where everybody had to have a Wii, it's a brand new thing, motion technology. And at first I caught a glimpse of it, but I used to think it was really, really scary. It turned me to the point where I just didn't want to play the game. It wasn't until about a year later that my father got stuck at the final boss and calls on me to help. And that's when I had to come in, figure out the controls, how to defeat the boss, and then that got me interested in the series because I found out it's not so bad after all. It's typical action, so why not give it a try? And I've been playing the series since Resident Evil 4. And I take it you have no experience with Resident Evil at this point.
Not at this point. I remember briefly, you came over to me and Lee's house and we played a bit of the Wii version of Resident Evil 4. Like we did the first couple of levels.
Mm-hmm.
And we did sort of like a brief sort of like co-op of like the first sort of level on this particular game on the PS3 version. I think that was at least like a couple of years ago now, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I've recently just bought Resident Evil 7. And I'm currently playing through that at the moment, but from what I've played, I'm really liking it so far. But I know that like the gameplay style in Resident Evil 7 is completely different from the game that we're going to be seeing now.
Yeah, exactly, because when Resident Evil started back in the 1996, it was all survival horror, cameras were fixed, and angles and you had tank controls to deal with. They did that till round about Code Veronica in 2000. Then they did decide to go a different action with Resident Evil 4, where they added more action-based into it, where it's over-the-shoulder perspective of the camera. You have full motion control. You're able to see where you shoot. So the gameplay style for Resident Evil 4, they decided to incorporate that into Resident Evil 5 with updated graphics, as you can see from these beautiful graphics, even by PS3. And even if you go back and play the PS3 version, these graphics still hold up to this day. It's definitely one of the best looking games out there on the market.
When was this game came out? Was it 2008?
2009 actually. It was 2009 that the game came out. They advertised it that this was going to be a one-player only game, matter of fact, but then they decided to throw in a co-op feature where throughout the entire campaign you can have a friend with you to play the entire game and do co-op based activities, because it's heavily co-op based, which means you need to work together with your partner to get through the many obstacles the game throws at you. You can play it by yourself with the AI, but I'm going to say it right now, the AI fucking sucks. Like seriously, the AI, like, say when you want, let's say you have two inventories, you and your partner, and your partner's running low on ammo. Then you say, okay, I've got plenty of machine gun ammo, here you go, here's some ammo. Sheva here, when she's controlled by the AI, just spazzes them out with little to no saving of bullets. She's just that fucking stupid. She won't even pick combined herbs, which are essential for your health. Like, you give her a green and red herb, which you're supposed to combine together to give you a full health restore, and she does jack squat. And it's like you have to tell her to give you the herbs, you combine them, and then you give it back to her. All because, I don't know how to combine herbs, I didn't take biology in school. So yes, like I said, this game is heavily co-op based, and because I did not trust the AI at all, and by fact at this point, the game, single player is okay, but it's much better when you have a buddy to tag along with you. So for a special guest on this Let's Play alone, I decided to bring a very good friend of mine to help out with the campaign of Resident Evil 5. It is the one, the only, the green bastard himself, Stevie!
What do you think?
So is he playing right now at the moment?
Yes, he is. He'll be playing as Sheva. You can tell that if it's not the AI, where later on when we'll get two health icons at the bottom, right? If you were playing by your AI, it would have had names like cover or attack underneath the name, which you can command the AI to do. But when you play with a friend, that does not appear at all. So you'll be able to see stuff that let's be honest, the AI will probably not be able to do. So Steven will pop up in the game, but he is playing through the entire campaign with me to help out for this adventure. I'm in control of Chris Redfield, one of the main characters in the series. So this recording will be from my point of view.
I just sort of know Chris Redfield from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That's where I sort of know him from.
I think that's when they decided to put more Resident Evil characters in their fighting game series, actually. Fun fact, there was a lot of backlash of back when the game was released because of the way they decided to take it into Africa. Like saying, oh, you can't use black people. I'm like...
Really?
Exactly. It's like, well, look back in the original Resident Evil where it was America. They're all white zombies we're killing. Yeah! So this game, I wouldn't really classify this as a survival horror. I would say it's more survival action if there's a genre like that. Where it's not scary. I'm going to say right now, Resident Evil 5 is not scary.
Was this where people started to think the series started to kind of go downhill a bit?
A little bit, but up to this point, I think, as of now, this is one of Capcom's best-selling games. Mainly because of what they did with the co-op feature, I have to think.
Now, I know that like a lot of people, they don't seem to like Resident Evil 6. Like, I've never played Resident Evil 6 in my life, so I can't really say. Like, Andrew, what do you think? Like, compared to this game, to Resident Evil 6, which would you prefer?
I prefer Resident Evil 5, mainly because it's the co-op feature is better handled in here than it is in Resident Evil 6. While Resident Evil 6 does have its improvements, there's just too much choices that you think, why do they bother? And I'll say it right now, but the modern trilogy of Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, 6 is definitely the weakest. It's like they try... Well, let's just save that for a potential Let's Play of Resident Evil 6 that we might do in the future.
Okay. So would you say, like, as you said, with like the trilogy, like you've got 1, 2, and 3, and then you've got 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they'll continue with like the first-person sort of gameplay for potential sequels like 8 or 9?
Well, considering the success that Resident Evil 7 had just recently got over the last few months, I mean, it came out early this year in January, and it was a massive success. So why not continue going on with what works?
Don't do a Sega and change the formula when you figure out something that works.
Alright, time for some gameplay. The controls for this game is your left stick to move, right stick to control the camera, and if you hold down the X button while moving, you can run. When you move the L stick normally, you can only walk. You hold down the X button to run. Square button is your reload animation, I believe. Yeah, yeah. This was recorded about a month ago, folks. It's been lying on my hard drive for about a month. Been trying to find the right opportunity to get it out.
Stephen will be wondering what's taking so long.
Well, he's been really excited for this LP. And again, like I said, underneath that Sheva's health icon, if this was the AI, it would have had a attack or cover underneath, and that way you can you would tell if that was AI playing. But as you can see, it doesn't appear, so Steven's in the game playing. And again, the only thing you can share between your partners in terms of items in your inventory is your ammo and your health. So say for example, you have a green herb, and then your partner's low on health. What you can do is you equip that green herb, stand right next to him or her, and then you can heal him or her. But if you're also low on health, you'll heal both of your health at the same time.
Okay. So they're making him eat that disgusting sort of thing. What is that?
That is Las Plagas. This concept was introduced in Resident Evil 4, mind-controlling parasite.
Okay.
Released by bioterrors to cause havoc across the globe, in this case in Africa, where this creature goes through your throat and attaches to your spinal cord and controls your every movement.
That sounds terrifying.
Well, it's Resident Evil, what do you expect?
In my sockets, jeez.
All that blood.
Sort of standing there like, we just see this sort of thing every day.
Well, Chris at this point, Chris doesn't know about Las Plagas, because Resident Evil 4 had Leon S. Kennedy, which is another different character. So I would say this is Chris's first encounter with this Las Plagas. And right here, me and Stevie do a nice free hit combo on this guy. Oh yeah. You can only do that by stunning enemies by shooting them in various locations, from headshots to arms to legs, and if you stun them, you can do some melee attacks by going up and pressing the square button. Your melee attacks are different depending on where you are on the body, So say like for example if you're in front of the opponent, you're behind them, you'll do melee attacks. Some are instant kills, some are just high damage. But it's a good way to save ammunition if you're running low. Now at this point, you want to run. You've only got a handgun, you just might as well just run. And right here, I get a very unintentional headshot. Right this guy.
Okay.
That was completely unintentional. I was trying to go for the guy behind him. It's like, oh no, I'll take the bullet for you. So as you can see there, Steven's giving me a red herb, and that combined with a green herb is a full health restore. The same goes for first aid sprays, which again are full health restore. A green herb on its own can only give you like 1/3 of your health. A red herb on its own doesn't do anything. Like the red needs to be combined with the green. But this is the herb has been the concept since the very first game.
Would you still recommend the first game? Like, I know, is there an HD remake of the first game?
Yeah, there is. What happened back in 1996, it was back on the PlayStation 1. Then they did a GameCube remake of the game in 2002, which added a lot more content into it and changed a bit. It gave the game and the mansion a better atmosphere to make it more horror-based. Then they re-released it on the PS4 and Xbox One. So I have the remake, and I have beaten it, and I'd say it's really good. The only problem is you just got to get used to the tank controls.
I bet it does sort of feel like a bit dated, like compared to today's standards.
It does, but when you get used to it, it'll be absolutely fine. You don't need to worry about that. And this is where the demo started. Back when the demo came out in late 2008, I believe. You only had this section right here, and you can still do the demo with a partner. So yes, this is a brand new playthrough that me and Steven are doing, because the amount of times we've been practicing this game, like me and Steven have been playing this game since the day it came out in 2009 with the PS3 version. But though Steven got it more than I did, because back in school actually, I remember one class back in Hamilton Grammar. Oh, sorry. In Hamilton Grammar, he brought in the video guide, the official video guide to the game, and then I'm looking at him while he's reading this. I'm like, really? That scary piece of shit. But then after I got into Resident Evil 4, I immediately decided to go to Resident Evil 5, practiced my arse off to get as good as this in this LP, and let's just say, out of all the friends that I played the co-op mode, Steven is the one I trust the most, because he knows how to get shit done.
So what's this guy's deal with the megaphone?
He's the leader of this cult. He's also mind controlled. And fun fact, that megaphone is coded as a weapon.
It's a weapon?
Yes. So if you're very lucky to get him to hit you with a melee attack, the megaphone counts as you getting attacked. Huh. Fun fact, in the PC version, some modders, they've added the megaphone as an actual projectile that you can spam at the enemies. And there's one bit where you can actually throw it at your partner if you have attack reaction off, and if it's low health, you can actually put them in dying status with a megaphone. Right, at this point, what we do is we're barricading ourselves in so we can get as much ammunition as we can, so we can fight back. All we have to do here is to hold up as long as we can till backup arrives. Keep in mind that all we have in terms of weapons at this point are just the handguns. And as you can see, the red line is your aim of sight.
So I'm assuming, like, since you and Steven have played this game so many times, like, you aren't going to be stressed out at all in this situation.
Oh, don't trust me. We do our best, but there will be moments where the game will try to screw it with us. Like, for example, questionable hitboxes from the enemy's projectiles and weapons, especially the pipe, because of how long range it has.
I like the wee twirl that they do when they die.
What, as if they slipped on the banana skin?
Yeah, like for my big finish.
Now you would think at this point, oh, what the hell are you doing? Don't go outside! Well, I'm here to show that it's not really a big deal if you know what you're doing.
Is that the exact same character model? Like those two guys there with the red
shirt?
shirt?
Yeah, exactly. They're very limited character models. Which is, it is kind of weird, like, didn't I kill you twice before? Now here's a little trick to reloading. You can manually reload by aiming down your sights and pressing the X button. but you cannot move while reloading. You're standing completely still, which means you're vulnerable. There's a trick that they, the concept that is in the original, but they brought it back here where if you press the triangle button to go to your inventory, then go above your ammunition, like handgun ammo, press the square button, and then move that to the handgun of your weapon, it'll automatically refill your gun. And you can do that in the middle of some segments like melee attacks. Well, as you can see when I'm doing melee attacks, I pop up the inventory from time to time. It's that so I can reload my gun so it's ready.
Okay.
And here's the Executioner. That axe, instant death. You don't want to get hit by that.
I take it he proper slices your head off or something.
Not really actually.
No?
Compared to Resident Evil 4 actually, where there was one death where if you get hit by the chainsaw in Resident Evil 5, your head gets decapitated. But for some reason they decided not to go all full decapitation in this game. I don't know why. Now as you can see there, you'll be able to keep an eye on your partner's health as well. So say again, if Steven had no health at all, and then I saw him in yellow or red, orange or red, I would instantly go right up to him to see if he needs some assistance. Like, in terms of health color, green is when you're absolutely fine, yellow is when you've got to be a bit careful, but red is when you're in danger. Like, in the co-op, what they do in the co-op is that you have, if you're on your last breath of health, you go into dying status, where you have to rely on your partner in order to get you back up.
So it's kind of like the sort of revival thing in like Call of Duty Zombies, where like you're sort of out of action.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that you can still be hit, so your opponent, your partner has to get to your location very quickly. Otherwise, if you get another hit, dead.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of QTEs as well. That's another reason why I think Resident Evil 6 is the weakest. So many QTEs. And this game is not so much. It's only QTEs when you get melee attacks or grabbed by an opponent. Like so here, when you get grabbed, you got to wiggle the left stick as fast as you can to break free. But when you grab from behind, it's fine. But see, when you grab from the front, you don't. You really want to get speedy because remember those mouth things that you saw in the cutscene? They can come out and take a chunk of your health if you fail that. So there's Steven kicking arse with the Executioner. So say like those quick turns he's doing, the AI cannot do that. What the AI does, again, the other way to tell if you're playing with the AI is that, as you see here, Steven here is doing really quick turns so he can get away from situations very quickly. The AI would move forward, turn, and then go. Like a tank.
I bet like it can like really fuck you over at times, the AI.
Especially when you play by, in fact, when you play by your own, it's like this. Half of your brain's focusing on the action that's going on so that you can survive, while the other half of your brain's making sure your AI doesn't fuck you up. Because there's been a number of occasions where back before I was practicing in the early PS3 days, that the AI would do stupid shit, like again, not picking up ammunition, or as stupid as the fact is running into an instant death. The AI is just unreliable.
How many of these guys is there?
Oh, they continuously spawn in until the helicopter arrives.
So it's like, just hold off as long as you can.
Yeah, exactly, survive. And that's a lucky melee that they call where that stomp is when they're lying on the ground, like but if you're lucky to aim your attack right above their head, it should be an instant kill to them. But this is just the beginning of the game. The enemy types get much more creative in a way as we continue on.
So I take it these are just like the drones?
Yeah, they're the Goombas of Resident Evil 5. Now as you can see, that's the trick right there, opening the inventory and then reloading my gun while I'm doing a melee move. Falcon Punch! Alright, it'll be Falcon Punch here, and then next time we see Chris, it'll be Falcon Kick. Because, yes, if you played Code Veronica, you'll know how ridiculously bulky Chris is in here. It's like he claims to be going to the gym ever since his last defeat, but I'm thinking he's secretly taking steroids behind the BSAA's back. Also in this game, there are 3 types of hand grenades you get. The hand grenade is your basic one. You throw it and it causes a massive explosion. Sometimes it insta-kills enemies, sometimes it doesn't. And these load screens I decided to leave in because it gives you fun facts about Resident Evil series. Here's our backup.
Give me some backup.
Of course, it's always an RPG. And that's the gate blown up, and with that, we'll see you in the next part, folks.